Hi everyone, I'm Terry, and this is the Yarnjoy podcast, episode number 169. Welcome. Well, let's just get started and I'll show you what I got done this week. Okay, so for my finished objects, I just got one done, and that is the first preemie hat for the month of September. This goes along with the challenge that I made for myself to do 3 preemie hats per month to donate to the Halloween hat drive that will be going to one of my local hospital NICUs for their preemie babies. And so for preemie hat number 1 for this month, I finished the Ninja Turtle series. This is the 4th one in the set, and it is the Leonardo one with the blue headband. And so that is preemie hat number 1. And I'm done with the Ninja Turtles, so the next ones that I will do will not be turtles. Okay, so that is my finished objects, and that is all I've done as far as finished. And so let's go on to works in progress. Okay, so last week I was showing you, or talking about a Pooh blanket that I was making. This is a Winnie the Pooh blanket, the classic Winnie the Pooh, not the Disney Winnie the Pooh. And it is a corner-to-corner blanket. I'm doing it for a baby gift, and I'm doing an Amigurumi Eeyore that's going to go along with it. Okay, so this is what the blanket is supposed to look like. Okay, so I got this chart off of Etsy, and I will put a link below in the description box. It is a paid-for pattern, but it is just like less than $3, I think. So anyway, and so now of course, it is a C2C, corner to corner, and I have lots of bobbins connected to it, and so it's very difficult for me to hold it up. So I laid it out, took a picture of it so you can see my progress. So here is my progress on that blanket. Okay, so that is my progress. I've almost got the width that I need. In the chart, it is 60 squares wide by 70 squares tall, and I am somewhere in the 50s. I have like less than 10 rows to go, or squares to go before I reach the width that I want, and then of course it'll still grow tall wise to get the height on it, but the width will stay the same after that. So I'm getting there. I'm getting really close. And I've also started if you saw in the picture, I also have started the little butterfly that was in the corner, and so I picked out a purple and well, it's a butterfly. It's got 2 spots on it, and so I picked out a purple color to use for the butterfly, and then the 2 spots that I'm doing is I'm using turquoise, Red Heart Super Saver. Okay, so it is coming along. I'm enjoying it. I am trying to weave in my ends as I go. You know, I do several rows, and then I'll look to see, and if I've got quite a few little tails where I've joined or had to cut the yarn to change colors or whatever, I've been trying to keep up with weaving in the tails as much as I can. So ever so often I'll go back and do some tails. So I always try to keep in the habit of doing that because I hate weaving in tails at the end. I just hate it. And so anyway, so that's my progress on that. Okay. Now works in progress number 2 is for another baby gift, and this is the the Giraffe Granny Square blanket, and I will pop in a picture right here of what that's going to look like. Okay, so that is what the Giraffe Granny Square blanket, that's what it's, well, that's the pattern, but I am changing the color scheme of it. So let me show you what I've done on mine. Okay, so this is what I've got so far. Of course, the yellow circle in the middle will be the giraffe's head. And that yellow right there is Premier Everyday yarn, and it's called baby yellow. Okay, and now I was wanting to make use a number 3 weight yarn because of this variegated that I'm using. So let me let you know what that is. So the variegated is Baby Bee Sweet Delight in blue camo. Okay, and it is actually a let's see, it says that it's a 3 weight yarn, like a DK weight, but the DK yellow that I had was very pale. It was a Bernat Softy Baby, and it was a very pale yellow, and it just didn't, I don't know, it just didn't look right. It was too pale. And so I decided to go with this one. It is still a baby kind of pastel colored yellow, but it's a little bit darker than the yellow that I had. Okay, but this is a number 4 weight worsted, but it's kind of a light. It's very similar to the weight of Karen Simply Soft, I would say. And so it is a number 4, but it's kind of a light 4. Okay, so that's what I used for the yellow. And I do have the ears. I have the ears made also for the giraffe. Okay, the white is Bernat Baby Sport, I think, in white. Okay, okay. Now, here is the baby camo that I used, and I'm really liking the way it's kind of pooling out there. So I'm really liking that. Now, the only thing about it is, okay, and I really wanted to use this because I have like 7 skeins of this. I got it off clearance at Hobby Lobby a couple of years ago. And so I really wanted to use it in something. And so I thought, well, this would be perfect to use it because it's a nice blue, boy theme color, I would think. Anyway, but it is a number 3, like I said, but it's a very, if you look at the strands of it, I don't know if you can see that, but it is a very light, light number 3, I would say. And so when I was trying to put it on here, the stitch is kind of pulled. As you can see, it's a granny stitch, and some granny stitch, between the granny stitch patterns, between the clusters of 3 double crochets, there is sometimes a chain before you go to the next double crochet cluster, but this one did not have that. It had no chains in between. But when I did that, since this yarn is smaller, it kind of pulled, and I was afraid it wasn't going to sit real good. It would be puckered, I guess. It wouldn't lay flat. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, so what I did is I ripped it out. Hadn't done but just a row or 2. Ripped it out. Row or 2. And so what I did is between the 3 double crochet clusters, I'm putting a chain 1 just to kind of separate and give it a little bit more room, I guess. It won't stretch very much, because this white is still the Bernat Sport, which is a heavier. No, not heavy. It's a number 3, but it's heavier than this number 3. It's thicker. Anyway, I think it's adapting well just by adding that extra stitch in there. Not adapting. It's combining with the other ones well, I think. And so by putting that chain in there, it's causing it to lay flat and not stretch too bad, because that yarn is actually smaller. Okay, so that's an idea. If you want to combine weights of yarn, like a 3 and a number 4, because the colors are right, you might want to maybe do something like that and see if that helps if you're doing granny stitch. Anyway, so I'm doing 6 rows, and then I'm doing a white stripe, and then I do 6 rows, and so see, now it's time for me to do another white stripe. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And like I said, I have 7 skeins of this, and I'm still on my first one, almost through with my first one. And so I'll just keep doing that sequence until it gets to be the size that I want. Okay, now another thing I did, since it's going to be a granny square stitch, and it's a square, I know some people have said when they do a big granny stitch project that the square kind of gets wonky. It doesn't keep its square shape very well. And so what I'm doing is with each row, I'm turning my work. So I'll do granny stitch all the way around, connect it, and then I'll join it, and then I turn my work, and then I do the granny stitch around the opposite direction. And that seems to be helping it to lay well and not kind of get skewed, I guess. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. And so I have picked out the rest of the face. I think I'm going to do this cafe latte for the muzzle, I think, because I had a kind of a bone. I think it's called bone. It's a Caron Simply Soft, but it's still too light. Not enough contrast between this yellow and the muzzle. And so I think I'm going to do the Cafe Latte, which was just like an applique that will be stitched on there. And then for the horns, because I've done the ears already. For the horns, you know how there's a dark tip on the top of the horn. I don't know if they're called horns, but yeah, whatever they're called on giraffes. I'm going to do this, which is, it's a Caron Simply Soft that I have, and it's like a chocolate. Yeah, it's called chocolate. So I'm going to put that on the tip and then continue with the yellow, and that will be the horns of the giraffe. And then the spots will be this color, that chocolate color too. So I think that's the colors I'm going to use, and so that's what I've done so far. And so I'm coming along on it. And pairing with this, like I said, with the Pooh blanket, I'm going to do an amigurumi that will go with it. It's an amigurumi Eeyore. I didn't get any work done on it this week. I still have just this much of the body, and that's it. I just wanted to get some progress done on the Pooh blanket, and so I just worked on that. And so paired with this is going to be what I'll be talking in the upcoming section in just a minute. Okay, so that is works in progress number 2. Works in progress number 3 is the educational baby ball, the one I'm going to be doing a tutorial on. I'll pop in a picture here so you can see what that ball is going to be looking like. Okay, so that is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing a tutorial on that so people can, or crochet along, or whatever you want to call it, because I do know that there were some people that were wanting to do it along with me so they could give it as a baby gift, like for Christmas, I think, to a baby or something. Anyway, so as you can see, it's a ball, like a soccer ball type thing, but it's made up of not hexagons, pentagons, five-sided shapes, all stitched together in different colors. And so you have to do 12 of those. And so I've been working on the panels, trying to get kind of a collection of them made. I did these 2 right here this past week. So now I've got 5, okay? And so I think I'm gonna go ahead and film the first part of that tutorial, so then those that want to do it can get started on theirs as well. And so hopefully tomorrow I'll film the tutorial on the this type panel, because you have to make 12 of them. And so that way people can get started on it. Okay, so that is my works in progress number 2. Number 3 is because I did 2 of the panels. Okay, now for these I am using number 3 weight yarns. In fact, a lot of it is pieces out of like Lion Brand mandalas and Lion Brand cupcakes, different things that have the number 3 weight yarn, and I'm just using scrap colors that I've got. Crystal of Chronically Crocheting did make one of these balls for one of her grandbabies, and it turned out awesome. And she did hers with worsted weight, and it turned out quite large. And so I've decided that I wanted to try to do mine quite a bit smaller, and so I'm using a number 3 weight yarn and like a 3mm hook, so just to try to get it down smaller. But anyway, you can use whatever hook size and yarn that you want. I just realize that the bigger hook you use and the bigger yarn you use, the bigger the project, the ball will be. Okay, so that is upcoming. Hopefully I can film that part tomorrow, possibly tomorrow, and get it posted so that way people can get started on it. Okay, so that is kind of transitioned into upcoming, because that was my works in progress for this week, except I am doing a secret project, and I finished it and ready to go. I have not filmed the video about it yet, but it will be my entry or my participation in the game that's coming up, the Yarn Clue game, and that is going to be hosted by Llama Unraveled Crochet, and that's Elisa. I wanted to make sure I got her name right, so I looked at my notes. And that's going to be starting on Monday, and my video as part of that Yarn Clue is going to be coming up Wednesday. And just a sneak peek, here is the yarn that I've used. So it's a beautiful bright green. It turned out really awesome. I like it. So anyway, I had to work on that and get that finished. It's finished, and so be looking for that on Wednesday, and you can see what that project is. Okay, so let's go on, continuing on. Continuing on with upcoming is the amigurumi that's going to be going along with this. Now, this giraffe blanket, the person that is getting this blanket has a nursery theme of jungle animals. That's why I'm doing the giraffe. Okay, so the amigurumi I'm going to do with this, that'll be going along with this, is the Jess Huff pattern for Esther the elephant. And I've had several people that want to do it along with me, and so I'm going to do it like I did the Dash the Deer, where I did a tips video, and you know, like divided it in parts and did videos of it, and had people crochet it along with me. Okay, so because it's not my pattern, it won't be a line by line tutorial, but I'll give as many tips and things as I can, showing how I put the pieces together, or anything that I think might help people that maybe haven't done many amigurumis or whatever. And so I'm going to be working on that this next week. I like to be kind of a week ahead of the start date, which I think is going to be September the 21st. That way I can kind of do the parts ahead of time, so if I run into any problems, which Jess Huff has awesome patterns, so I shouldn't have any problems. But if there's anything I think I need to point out, I can do that ahead of time before people start their parts, you know. So anyway, I will be working on that this next week, and then so the 21st, on that Monday, I will release the first tips video for Esther the elephant. So stay tuned for that. So I'll be doing a tutorial series for the educational baby ball and Esther the elephant at the same time. So I hope that you will join in and do both of them, or one of them, or just follow along and watch me do it or whatever. Okay, so that is upcoming. So Esther the elephant is upcoming. The crocheted ball will be upcoming. Those tutorials. Now that will be a line by line tutorial. Okay, because that pattern is by Patricia Heller. That's right. She gave me permission to do the tutorial on this pattern as her pattern. So this will be a line by line tutorial. Okay, Esther the elephant will just be kind of tips. Okay. Okay, now, so that's two upcoming. The Yarn Clue project I just talked about, that will be another upcoming. And then, of course, I'll be doing Preemie Hats number 2 and number 3 for September. I still need to do to meet my goal. And the Rudolph the crochet set, Rudolph the reindeer set. I haven't started my character for this month, but it will be this right here, the Dolly, which is from the Island of Misfit Toys. And so that will be, I'm hoping I'll be able to get her started. She's very small, so I don't think it's going to take me a long time to work on her. So all that is upcoming. And then I guess that's it. I don't have anything else to show you, I don't think, this time. So, but thanks so much to all my subscribers, my new subscribers that have just subscribed to me. Welcome. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so and watching my progress on all the things I work on. Oh, and I do want to say, now I remember, that I did send my package off today as part of my donations to the Garfield along that Amber of Ooh Ah Crochet was hosting. She was wanting the stuff to be mailed before September the 15th, and so I got it sent off today. I did take a picture of all the items that I put in the box. I laid them out, took a picture of it, so here is that picture. So that is the picture of all the items that I put in the box. I did have 2 little pencil pouches that I sewed and I stuck in there. And then there was a bookmark, and then there was several little backpack buddies and little pocket loveys and different things. And so Amber, be looking for that because it is headed your way. Okay. Now I think that's it. So everybody have a great weekend. Like this video, subscribe if you haven't. I appreciate it so much. and we will see you in the next video, probably tomorrow in the next tutorial. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.